Yes, boys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we'll be breaking down UFC Mexico City, Brandon Royval taking on Brandon Moreno in the main event. But before we do that, let's recap UFC 298 from a betting perspective. Another very successful night, 61.45 units overall in the last 14 months. Very happy with that. We're going to get up to 100 units by the end of the year. I'm very confident that I think we can get up to 120, 130 by the end of the year, but let's just set ourselves the goal of that 3-digit mark. As you can see here, it says minus 1.3 units on Bet MMA tips. I am limited to what I can put on Bet MMA tips, such as the significant strike under and overs. Takedown lines, I'm not able to track them on this website for some reason. I don't know why. It's very limited to what you can track, and I only just started tracking these bets this week, or last week. So yeah, we did overexpose ourselves on the round props. What we will be adjusting our strategy, because I kind of did that with the Hermanson and Pfeiffer one as well. We profited like 2.75 units on that card, but we did kind of overexpose ourselves with the with the prop side as well. It just like digs away at how much you win if you don't hit them. So yeah, but if you do hit them, obviously you're gonna get a big win, because obviously plus 1800, plus 1100, plus 750, plus 1400, those are big numbers to be betting on. But yeah, just for example, under 29.5 significant strikes, Volkanovski round 1. I knew that was going to cash, man. Volkanovski to land 30 strikes on a guy like Ilia Topuria in round 1. I just did not see him taking those kind of risks, especially early on. I thought he was going to sit in the outside, kind of jab at him, pepper away at him with the leg kicks, with the jab, and that's exactly what happened. And I did predict Ilia Topuria to find the second round KO on Volkanovski. Another prediction we got right. We went 3-0 on bets in the main event. I'll show you my last bet on the main event in just a second here. Paulo Costa significant strikes under 29.5 round 1. I mean, look at that line, boys. For him to land 30 strikes on a guy like Robert Whittaker early on, that was just never going to happen. And I did get a massive edge on the bookies there. They had it at 29.5 and I got it at 22, I got it at 29.5 and they slowly dropped that to 22.5 in the end. So yeah, very happy with the line I got there. Bet365, man, are absolute clowns at giving out these strike numbers. I mean, it's literally a cheat code, I'm not even joking. And our last one, we had under 60.5 strikes, round 1, minus 120 for 1.2 units, also cashed that. So 3-0 on our first ever 3 statistical bet props. I don't actually know what they're called, but yeah, very happy with that. Plus 3.03 units on the night, 4.33 units we won just from those 3 bets that I gave out. 2 units on the minus 120 for Paulo Costa, under 29.5 strikes, significant strikes, under 29.5 significant strikes for Volkanovski round 1, and then the under 60.5 strikes round 1 for Volkanovski versus Topuria. I mean, we absolutely crushed the books right there with those 3 bets, and I will be tracking them every single week. So if you want to stay tuned for those bets, follow me, Sicky Does MMA on X, and obviously subscribe on my YouTube channel. And like the video, boys, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, as it helps out the channel massively. And yeah, guys, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Have a good rest of your week. Have a good Saturday with the bets, and make sure you stay tuned for the best bets video on Thursday that I will be doing. So yeah, guys, without further ado, let's get right into the breakdown video, boys. Let's go. Woo! On our first one out, we have Muhammad Naimov taking on Erik Silva. Muhammad Naimov, a very traditional type of a striker, very good kicks, solid striking, solid boxing, solid power in the feet, very fast, and he is pretty big for 145. And on the other hand, we have Erik Silva, a guy that has decent grappling, good takedowns, not the best cardio. I wouldn't say both of these guys have the best cardio, to be honest, but if I did, I'd give it to Muhammad Naimov, especially to win the later rounds if it gets there. And yeah, Erik Silva is a guy that will look to get this fight to the ground. Very aggressive strike on the feet, but I wouldn't say it's... I think the Naimov on the feet is kind of clear, to be honest, with the punches, with the kicks, with the reach, and just with the technical ability on the feet. And Muhammad Naimov also can get this fight to the floor. He does like to get the fight to the floor in rounds 2 and 3 after round 1. And overall, who am I going to pick? I'm going to pick Muhammad Naimov to win this fight. There's something in my mind that is just telling me not to parlay to this guy this week. There's something in the back of my head that is saying, do not parlay Muhammad Naimov, even though he's fighting a guy that hasn't fought in 2 years, lost to TJ Brown. TJ Brown is absolutely terrible at fighting, and Muhammad Naimov in his last fight beat a guy in Nathaniel Wood. Yes, he cheated about 15 times to win that fight, but beating a guy and being competitive with a guy like Nathaniel Wood is very impressive in my opinion, even though he nutshotted him 3 times, grabbed the fence 2 times, and still wasn't deducted a point. Yeah, in Abu Dhabi, not surprised there whatsoever. The ref, even, just look at the ref. Yeah, not surprised he didn't get deducted a point there. But, yeah, I do kind of agree with the odds, but there's just something in my mind that is just saying this guy's going to lose to someone that he shouldn't lose to, in my opinion. I just don't really like what I'm seeing from Muhammad Naimov. To be a minus 280 favourite, I just don't like it in the UFC. And Erik Silva is a very dangerous guy, so he could potentially have an upset in the first round. But I'm going to pick Muhammad Naimov by second round TKO. I think Erik Silva could have success early with the grappling, potentially get it down, but I don't think he'd be able to have, much control over Muhammad Naimov, especially early. And I do see Erik Silva, struggling to keep up that pace of Muhammad Naimov to find a big body kick and hurt him to the body and find a TKO win in this matchup. So yeah, give me Muhammad Naimov by second round TKO with a body shot. And our next fight night is going to be Victor Altamirano taking on Felipe dos Santos. I love this kid. This kid is a warrior, I'll be honest. I shoot the box style, but Victor Altamirano, very well rounded. He does have a very high pace, and he is very good on the ground in terms of getting up, sweeping, and not accepting position. But I don't really like how technical he leaves so many openings on the feet. He's very open on the feet, and I do think Felipe dos Santos with that shoot the box style will be able to land on Victor Altamirano all day long and be the more dangerous guy in this matchup, have the more threatening submission ability, have the harder shots on the feet, and be the more technical guy on the feet. Felipe dos Santos is very hittable, but so is Victor Altamirano, and Victor Altamirano has absolutely zero power. He stopped Lacerda, but everyone stops Lacerda in the UFC, so Felipe dos Santos, I think that he's just going to be the more dangerous fighter. I think he's going to be the more technical fighter on the feet, and if he gets it to the ground, I could see him even submitting Victor Altamirano in this matchup, but he doesn't really have the best takedowns, I would say. He kind of just shoots takedowns and then kind of lets them back up immediately, like a Dominic Cruz type takedown. Obviously, I'm not comparing him to Dominic Cruz entirely, obviously, but it's not like he'll, get you to the ground and hold you to the ground and kind of, control you for long periods of time on the ground. So I don't really see him winning this fight in that kind of way, but I do see him being the more dangerous fighter, having the better Muay Thai with that shoot the box style, having the more dangerous strikes, and winning this fight on damage 30-27, maybe 29-28, or maybe even finding a TKO win in this matchup. Wouldn't shock me, because Victor Altamirano does leave many openings on the feet for a guy like Felipe dos Santos to land on, and Felipe dos Santos looked very good against Manuel on short notice against one of the best flyweights in the world, so that does say something about this kid. So I'm going to go with Felipe dos Santos to get this win over Victor Altamirano by decision in this matchup. And our next fight tonight is going to be Luis Rodríguez taking on Denis Bondar. Luis Rodríguez, very solid everywhere in my opinion. Solid BJJ, does look for some takedowns but won't really hunt for them that much. Kind of a striker, plods forward and will try and find the finish on the feet. Has some good hooks, and I watched a fight where he just ate leg kicks for days and kept coming forward, so this guy can eat good leg kicks all day. And then on the other hand, we have Denis Bondar, more of a grappler, not really that technical on the feet, was completely outstruck by Carlos Hernandez in his last matchup, and lost to Malcolm Gordon, so that's never a good sign, even though it was a bit of an injury. But yeah, I'm gonna side with Luis Rodríguez. This matchup's kind of hard to pick, to be honest. It's a very hard pick, kind of a short breakdown. I think that Luis Rodríguez is gonna be the more dangerous fighter and will be the guy who will be landing the harder shots, which I like. Especially in a flyweight fight where, damage is going to matter a lot in these close decisions, in my opinion, which I do see happening. I don't think Denis Bondar's style is going to be able to win him a lot of fights in the UFC, just because I just think it's grappling or bust for him, wrestling / grappling or bust for him. I think that Luis Rodríguez, if he is taken down, he can work himself up, off his back with his submissions and find sweeps from there and get himself back up on the feet and start landing the bigger shots on the feet, because if this is on the feet, I think he wins this fight all day. So I'm going to go with Luis Rodríguez by decision in this matchup to land the harder strikes over the 3 rounds, and yeah, give me Luis Rodríguez by decision in this matchup. And our next fight is going to be Claudio Puelles taking on Farash Ziam. Claudio Puelles, what an embarrassing last performance that was against Dan Hooker. I mean, that was just a complete embarrassment. Gave up completely after he just couldn't, do his Imanari roll towards Dan Hooker's leg. And, I'm not high on this guy whatsoever. And on the other hand, we have Farash Ziam. A very good kickboxer in my opinion, good at range, good in the clinch, and overall very just good on the feet, and his grappling has been improving massively over his last few fights. Since he got back into the UFC, you've seen a clear different guy with the grappling and submission defense and stuff, and I do see him being able to win this fight pretty easily against Claudio Puelles, who in my opinion is just submission or bust, because what we've seen from him in his last matchup was just an embarrassment in the striking aspect, not technical whatsoever on the feet, and I don't really see him being able to just win this on the feet at all. I don't see him being able to get in the inside of Farash Ziam. I don't see him being able to out kickbox Farash Ziam on the feet. And I don't really see him being able to get this to the ground, to be honest, against Farash Ziam, because like I said, his grappling has been improving, and his takedown defense and such. So yeah, I'm going to go with Farash Ziam to sit on the outside, kick away at this guy, with leg kicks, body kicks, and just piece him up from the outside and win a decision in this matchup. Pretty confident Farash Ziam. Don't know if I'll parlay him, but I am pretty confident he gets the job done this Saturday night. And our next fight night is going to be Edgar Cháirez taking on Daniel the Goat Lacerda, 0-4-1 in the UFC. Edgar Cháirez, very dangerous on the feet, very dangerous off his back, very good power in his hands, and he's absolutely massive for 125. I like his leg kicks. I like a lot of his striking, but he doesn't have the best cardio, but I don't think that will matter in this matchup against Daniel Lacerda, who quits at every single opportunity he is given. In their last matchup, Daniel Lacerda pretended like he went out cold, and then Cristian, the worst referee in the UFC right now, stepped in and stopped the fight like an absolute clown. Daniel Lacerda, he is very dangerous early on, but man, this guy just, like I said, he gives up when adversity is shown to him, and very poor cardio. I just don't see him being able to win this fight, to be honest. I think that Edgar Cháirez has very good durability. He won't be taken down in this matchup, in my opinion. He tried taking Edgar Cháirez down in their first fight, in the no contest fight that they had, and he was unsuccessful and then basically quit from there on. Edgar Cháirez, in my opinion, has the better striking, has the more threatening submission ability, in my opinion, and he's just way more UFC level than Daniel Lacerda. I actually bet on Daniel Lacerda the first fight, but I am parlaying Edgar Cháirez in this fight for sure. So yeah, give me Edgar Cháirez by first round KO or second round KO. I'm gonna go with first round KO, end of the fourth round, end of like the first round, 4th minute, around there, when Daniel Lacerda finally quits. This dude is one of the biggest quitters in the UFC. I'm not even over exaggerating with how many times I've said quit in this breakdown. Literally the definition of a quit fighter. So yeah, Edgar Cháirez has showed some potential as well against guys like Tatsuro Taira, dangerous off his back, hurt Tatsuro Taira at one point, and yeah, I think that he's just a way better fighter in this matchup. So yeah, give me Edgar Cháirez as a safe parlay piece in this matchup. And our next fight is going to be Jesus Aguilar taking on Mateus Mendonça. Jesus Aguilar, I think this guy's pretty bad, to be honest. I think he's terrible. Shannon Ross, I actually banned Shannon Ross their last fight, and that's one of the worst bets I've ever made, I'll be honest. One of the worst bets I've ever made in my UFC handicapping career for sure. Starts to my goal, but if people think that he is this kind of one-punch KO artist, that they are so wrong. They are completely wrong. This guy has pillow fists. Shannon Ross has one of the worst chins in UFC history, not even joking. One of the worst chins in flyweight history. I think he's been finished in all 4 of his UFC losses by TKO in the flyweight division. So I'm not impressed whatsoever. Just a really bad bet for me, betting against Jesus Aguilar with Shannon Ross, but that just shows how low I am on Jesus Aguilar as a fighter. I don't think he's good whatsoever. I don't like how slow he is. He's very small for the division. He will have a massive frame disadvantage in this matchup against a guy like Mateus Mendonça, who is absolutely massive for the division, cuts a lot of weight, which does come at some disadvantages with him. I am kind of surprised with the 75% topology pick for Jesus Aguilar. Obviously, it's just casuals kind of looking at the first round KO against one of the most chiniest fighters in the UFC ever. But yeah, Jesus Aguilar, I just don't like his striking. Just wings, punches like this. Will literally just throw like that. Has no jabs. His reach is so short. He'll have a 9-inch reach disadvantage in this matchup, 9.5 inches of reach disadvantage in this matchup. Mateus Mendonça, on the other hand, will be the more dangerous fighter, will be the more technical fighter on the feet, will have the longer strikes on the feet, will have the ability to get back up if he's taken on against a guy like Jesus Aguilar. And in my opinion, Jesus Aguilar is submission or bust in this matchup. I mean, guillotine. I could literally see Mateus Mendonça winning this fight however he wanted. I think he can win this by decision. I think that he can win this by just grappling him the entire fight and like winning the decision, or I could see him finishing Jesus Aguilar by TKO. I think the power advantage that he will have in this matchup is a massive one. So yeah, give me Mateus Mendonça by decision in this matchup. I am interested to see what the over 2.5 is. I actually haven't looked at it yet. But yeah, I may be tempted to play Mendonça by decision in this matchup. I am very confident in Mendonça. I have 2 units on Mendonça at -138. That's how confident I am for Mateus Mendonça to win this matchup. He does have a cardio issue, so that is a bit of a worry. But he was competitive with Javid Basharat, man. And Javid Basharat is levels above Jesus Aguilar. Yes, that's MMA math, but let's be honest, man. Like from Javid Basharat to Jesus Aguilar, I mean, there's like a levels between them. So yeah, I'm very confident Mateus Mendonça. That last fight against Naimov wasn't a good look. The IQ he's displayed was pretty poor, but I don't really think that Naimov is even close to the level of Jesus Aguilar. I am so low on Jesus Aguilar as a fighter. Yes, he actually beat Edgar Cháirez, but I mean, Jesus Aguilar at the UFC level, man, the style that he has is just not going to work in my opinion. And Edgar Cháirez has leveled up so much since their fight. So yeah, gonna go with Mateus Mendonça by decision, just to use his wrestling, win minutes on top, use his size advantage in this matchup, and yeah, win decision in this fight. And our next fight night is going to be very interesting. Cristian Quiñonez taking on Raoni Barcelos. Cristian Quiñonez coming off that KO loss to Kyung Ho Kang. Yeah, not a good look whatsoever. I think he got like finished inside 2.5 minutes, I think 3 minutes. Got hurt badly and then submitted after that, after basically getting club and subbed. And then Raoni Barcelos is on a bit of a skid right now, man. 1-4 in his last 5 fights. We are seeing a decline. I kind of feel bad for the guy, how his career has kind of went. I don't know how he never got that opportunity to get in that top, 15 to 10 range, because he was on such a good tear, beat guys like Said Nurmagomedov in his UFC career, and just never got that leap up. Kind of got old. Just got older and has fell off considerably in my opinion. His last fight, he lost to Kyler Phillips 6 months ago, and yeah, I don't really understand these odds, man. I think that Raoni Barcelos is probably the better fighter. Yes, in his prime he probably destroys Cristian Quiñonez, makes it look somewhat easy, but I think the durability of Raoni Barcelos is in question, in my opinion. I think that his chin is going. Yes, he was KO'd by Umar Nurmagomedov. I mean, losing to Umar Nurmagomedov is not not terrible, to be fair. I mean, the guy's a future champion most likely, but yeah, Raoni Barcelos is just, the momentum's against him. The age, coming 37 in 2 months, and Yeah, I'm going to side with Cristian Quiñonez, who is going to be the more durable guy in this matchup. I think that he will have a power advantage in this matchup, in my opinion. I think that if they do brawl, I would favour him. Cristian Quiñonez, I think that Hany Barcelos is probably the more technical guy on the feet, with the better, Muay Thai, with the leg kicks, with the boxing. But overall, I like the pace of Cristian Quiñonez, especially at this age. I don't know if Hany Barcelos is going to be able to keep that pace at this age. Hany Barcelos does have some very good takedown defense and has very good wrestling off his own, but I think that Cristian Quiñonez can be the more busy striker on the feet and win the minutes in this matchup, and I would favour him to find a finish in this fight, just because in my opinion, I think he is more durable at this stage in Hany Barcelos' career. So give me Cristian Quiñonez by decision in this matchup to land the harder strikes, to be the more active fighter on the feet, and win this fight as it goes on. Kind of sad for Hany Barcelos, because I'm a bit of a fan of his, but I think he is on the decline quite clearly and has lost to guys that you wouldn't expect him to lose to, like Victor Henry, like Kyler Phillips, and like even Timur Valiev. So yeah, give me Cristian Quiñonez by decision in this matchup. And our next fight is going to be Manuel Torres taking on Chris Duncan. Manuel Torres coming off that one of the KOs of the year with that nasty elbow against Modet, and on the other hand we have Chris Duncan coming off that upset win against Yanal Ashmus. I knew Chris Duncan was going to win that matchup. I bet Chris Duncan at plus 110, and that was a beautiful bet for me right there. But yeah, Chris Duncan has some momentum right now. Both of these guys have momentum. Both of these guys looking to find a big win in their career. As this is kind of a prospect fight. I wouldn't say either of these guys will go far in the lightweight division, but I'm just saying, after this fight, they'll be looking at around that 25 mark, 30 mark in that lightweight division. So massive fight for their careers here. But Manuel Torres is going to be the more dangerous striker in this matchup. Obviously, has multiple KOs, and Chris Duncan has struggled with getting KO'd in his career before and has been dropped in many fights, even on this Dana White Contender Series. First fight he got destroyed by Borshev, and then was getting destroyed by Campbell until he found that comeback win. What an insane comeback that was. But Manuel Torres is going to have the harder strikes, land the harder strikes, will be the more dangerous fighter in this matchup. Chris Duncan, on the other hand, will be the better minute winner in my opinion. He will have the length at range, maybe, potentially. I did like his last performance against Yanal Ashmus. He stayed away from the big power shots, didn't eat much, looked for takedowns at certain moments in that fight, and was the minute winner in that matchup. But what I didn't like about Chris Duncan, as a guy that was watching that fight very closely, who had their butt clenched the entire fight against a guy with in Yanal Ashmus who punches like a truck, is he was getting very, very close to getting clipped. If Yanal Ashmus maybe didn't injure his arm, that could be a completely different fight. Yes, it was actually Chris Duncan that injured his arm, but man, from what we've seen, man, he was getting very close to getting knocked out. I'm talking like inches. I'm talking inches away from getting knocked out. And Manuel Torres is going to present a different kind of frame to Chris Duncan than Yanal Ashmus did, and I think that Manuel Torres is going to be able to find a KO win in the first round against Chris Duncan. Chris Duncan doesn't have the best movement, doesn't have the best chin in my opinion, and is very hittable. So going to go with Manuel Torres to find the KO in round 1 in this matchup. I think he's going to be the more dangerous fighter on the feet, and if it does extend, I think Chris Duncan could win this matchup, but I just don't like what I'm seeing from his defense on the feet, even though he was able to avoid a lot of Yanal Ashmus's strikes in their last matchup. And then Yanal Ashmus was getting so close, and Chris Duncan was taking a lot of risks that he didn't need to in that matchup, especially later on in the fight, giving Yanal Ashmus chances to get that KO win. So I'm going to go with Manuel Torres by KO round 1. On our next one, we have Yazmin Jauregui taking on Sam Hughes. Yazmin Jauregui coming off that KO loss to Denise Gomez. When was that? 7 months ago. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's how that fight plays out most times. I mean, I think everyone would kind of agree. I think that Yazmin Jauregui probably wins that fight more times than she loses, for sure. Does that make sense? More times. She wins that fight Yeah, she wins it more times than she loses. Yeah, that made sense. That kind of like my brain kind of just switched off there. But yeah, Sam Hughes on the other side, coming off that win against Amarin, who is that submission, just cardio, no cardio fighter at all. Yeah, she was able to, control her in certain moments, outstrike her in certain moments, survive that first round with very good rear naked choke defense, solid on the feet. But honestly, I think the Yazmin Jauregui is clear in this matchup, man. I don't think that Sam Hughes has the power to land on Yazmin Jauregui and put her lights out like Denise Gomez did to her. I think that Yazmin Jauregui is the better fighter in, I wouldn't say every aspect, because we haven't seen much of her clinch game, haven't really seen much of her takedowns and such, and grappling ability, but Yazmin Jauregui on the feet is clear in my opinion. She's the more technical striker, she's the faster striker, she's the more dangerous striker, she'll have the higher output in my opinion, and I just think her footwork on the outside is going to be too much for Sam Hughes to even touch on the feet. So yeah, give me Yazmin Jauregui by decision in this matchup, but I do think that Yazmin Jauregui does stand in the pocket for too long, so she'll enter a boom, and she'll stand there for too long instead of, getting out. So she'll enter and just stay in the pocket for too long instead of, getting in and then, sliding out of range. She does spend too much time in the pocket, but I don't really see Sam Hughes being able to land that big shot on Yazmin Jauregui and shutting her lights out like Denise Gomez did in her last fight. So give me Yazmin Jauregui by decision in this matchup. I think she's a lock in on this card, to be honest. And our next fight tonight is going to be Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Ricky Tercios. This fight is weird. This fight is very weird, to be honest, but I think that Raul Rosas Jr. should win this pretty comfortably, man. I am not high whatsoever on Ricky Tercios, who's coming off that win versus Kevin Natividad. Jesus, sorry, I'm like burping. I just had like a monster to keep me awake. Currently, 1:42 a.m. Doing a breakdown. So yeah. Yeah, I think that Raul Rosas Jr. is going to be the way better fighter on the feet. Even in his last fight against Terrence Mitchell, Terrence Mitchell sucks. He's awful. Terrence Mitchell is terrible at fighting. But I feel like Raul Rosas Jr. showed evolution in his stand-up game. And from the snippet we've seen of that matchup, I think even his striking against Ricky Tercios should be enough. I think he is the way more technical striker. I think he's going to be better on the feet by miles, and I think he'll be the more dangerous striker. I think he'll be able to hurt Ricky Tercios. He is very hittable, he is very clippable, and he has been dropped and rocked in the past. And if Ricky Tercios is able to get this to the ground, I don't really see it being successful for a long time, because Raul Rosas Jr. is nasty on the ground. This kid's really, really good on the ground. So started as BJJ type fighter, and showed us glimpses of very good grappling in the past. Looking back at him losing to Cristian Rodríguez, C-Rod, not a bad loss to take, man. Not a bad loss. C-Rod is a very good prospect. Beat a guy like MSP, Cameron Simon. So not a bad loss. Looking back on it, people memed him for it, losing to like a plus 300 underdog. But C-Rod, looking back at it wasn't the worst performance possible. Raul Rosas Jr., I think that he will be the guy making the way better improvements here. I think that Ricky Tercios isn't really UFC level. He's bottom of the barrel bantamweight division level, and even on the ground, I could see Raul Rosas Jr. winning the minutes, controlling Ricky Tercios on the ground, and winning this matchup by decision. But yeah, I'm going to go Raul Rosas Jr. by decision. I think he is a safe parlay piece, and I think the UFC know what they're doing by giving him a guy like Ricky Tercios. So yeah, give me Raul Rosas Jr. by decision in this matchup. Our next fight is going to be Daniel Zellhuber taking on Francisco Prado. Daniel Zellhuber coming off that impressive victory against Christos Iagos, and then Prado coming off that nasty KO versus oh my gosh, I was about to say his name, Altman Azaitar. Yeah, this is a very interesting matchup. I think that Zellhuber probably wins this matchup, but the odds at plus 210 for Francisco Prado is very... It's interesting to me. It's very interesting. I think that Daniel Zellhuber is going to have those lengthy attacks from the outside, with the kicks on the outside, with the teeps to the body, with the longer strikes, the 1-2s. But I really like Francisco Prado's guard. I think that he takes a lot of the shots on the guard. I like his chin. I think that he's very durable, and I don't really see Daniel Zellhuber being able to finish a guy like Francisco Prado in this matchup. I think the more dangerous fighter, which I like for underdogs, is going to be Francisco Prado. And Daniel Zellhuber was cracked in his last fight against Christos Giagos. So I do see openings for Francisco Prado to land a big hook on the feet like he does. To a lot of his opponents, especially on the regional scene. Yes, the Argentina regional scene isn't very high level, but, you know, against Ottman Azaitar, he looked very good in that matchup, and I did bet Francisco Prado. I knew that Ottman Azaitar looked very washed coming back after that long layoff with the potato thing. Against who was it? Steamroller Favola. He just did not look like the same fighter, and then I picked Francisco Prado to KO him in the first round as well. Daniel Zellhuber will be the minute winner. He will be the minute winner in this matchup, like I said, with the longer attacks range. But I think that Francisco Prado can land big on that chin of Daniel Zellhuber, who was knocked down in his last matchup against Christos Giagos. So my pick for this matchup is going to be Daniel Zellhuber, but all the value, in my opinion, is going to be on Francisco Prado. Not confident whatsoever on laying minus 260 against a guy like Francisco Prado, who will be, landing big shots on Daniel Zellhuber. So give me Daniel Zellhuber by decision, but I'm going to be betting Francisco Prado. Just going to see where this line moves to and, lay some money on him at plus money. Jesus, I just spy everywhere. And our next fight is going to be Yair Rodríguez taking on Brian Ortega. Big implications in this featherweight fight. Yair Rodríguez is going to be the way better striker in this matchup. He will have the faster shots from the outside. He will have the straighter punches. His grappling off his back is very dangerous, as we've seen even against Brian Ortega in their first fight. Was looking for the arm bar. And Brian Ortega, on the other hand, decent enough boxing, very, very hittable on the feet. Has a very good chin, very durable, but he has taken so much punishment over his last 5 fights. And that could be a factor in this matchup. I think that Yair Rodríguez will obviously, like I said, have the better striking, especially on that side, with the kicks from range, with the boxing from range. But if this fight extends into the second and third round, I think that Brian Ortega could end up winning the second and third round. I did bet Yair Rodríguez at plus money in their first fight, and, good bet right there. I think I was plus 137, I think he was at. I can't really remember. He was plus money for sure. And yeah, very good odds I got on Yair Rodríguez in their first matchup. But I just don't really like Yair Rodríguez at a minus 170 favorite in this fight. I think this fight is very close. I think that Brian Ortega could, have success in this fight on the ground and control Yair Rodríguez in many moments on the ground. I think that Brian Ortega's ground control is very good, and Yair Rodríguez does struggle on bottom at times. He is very dangerous off his back, as we've seen against Josh Emmett, even in their first fight against Brian Ortega, looking for that armbar. But Yair Rodríguez, in my opinion, man, he just doesn't get up at all when he's off his back, which is a very worrying sign, because if he is on his back in this matchup, he'll be losing the minutes in this fight. And if it extends into the second and third round, Brian Ortega could end up winning the second and third round and getting a decision win in this matchup. But my pick is going to be Yair Rodríguez to use the length on the outside. But if the Brian Ortega line keeps moving up, I might have a bet on Brian Ortega for the value play. So yeah, give me Yair Rodríguez by decision in this matchup. And our next one is going to be Brandon Royval taking on Brandon Moreno in the main event of the evening. Looking forward to this flyweight scrap. Going to be very, very fun to watch. Both of these guys are very fast, very scrambly on the ground, and yeah, it's going to be very good on the feet as well. I love both of these guys' activity. I love the pace these guys set. Brandon Moreno has very good boxing. It's improved so much over the last 10 fights on his UFC title run. Very good boxing, decent power in his hands, very good minute winner, good on the ground, very good at finding the takedowns when he needs him, just to secure a round, and very good jiu-jitsu as well. On the other hand, we have Brandon Royval, very good minute winner, very good movement winner as well. Able to rock guys, submit guys. In his last fight, he showed really bad takedown defense though, and I think that could be where the difference is made in this matchup. I think that Brandon Moreno, even on the feet, I think he will win. But I think that Brandon Moreno would be very smart at just, striking with him and then timing a takedown when, Brandon Royval opens up on the feet, swings kind of big, which he does at times, and leaves openings, leaves his hips quite square at times on the feet for a takedown. So I think that Brandon Moreno is the favourite in this matchup for a reason. I think that he should be able to win this matchup with his grappling, just by implementing his grappling. I'm not saying he'll be able to, implement a whole grappling game plan for the entire 5 rounds, but I think that he will be able to win the moments and minutes in this matchup with the boxing, with the cleaner striking, and just time the takedowns to secure those rounds. As we've seen in his last matchup, Brandon Royval was struggling really badly against Alexander Pantoja's takedowns. Yes, Alexander Pantoja is just an absolute monster and just can take punishment like no other in the UFC, but yeah, it was a bad sign. I think that Brandon Moreno does have the capabilities of getting this fight to the floor and winning the minutes there as well. So give me Brandon Moreno by decision in this matchup. Very, very good fight. I think that Brandon Royval has a good chance to land some big shots, hurt Brandon Moreno moments in this matchup, but I think that over 5 rounds, I think you have to go with Brandon Moreno in this matchup. I don't think Brandon Royval's ever won a 5-round fight in his life. So, yeah, Brandon Royval has the experience of winning 5 rounds in this fight. So, in their careers. So, give me Brandon Moreno by decision in this matchup. So there you guys have it. There was my UFC Mexico City breakdown. If you guys enjoyed this, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, as it helps out the channel massively, guys. Enjoy the fights this weekend. Have a good rest of your week, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day. Peace. Also, look out for my breakdown video, my breakdown best bets video on Thursday or Friday, and stay tuned on my Twitter. Sicky does MMA for the bets I post with the significant strike bets that I told you guys I post now and will be tracking on top of the Bet MMA tips site. So yeah, stay tuned for those, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Have a good day. Peace.